The plight of many American cities rests with the control of those cities at the hands of majority councils who were Democrats, mayors also Democrats, those committed to enriching or empowering or both themselves and not caring very much about the people that they govern. Let me go from east to west. 5 cities for your examination. I'll start with my birthplace, Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford was a gem, according to almost everybody who were there in the 20s, 30s, 1940s as well. My mom was one of them, born in 1922, grew up in the 30s, stayed there, young woman in the 40s, and even into the 50s. The city was safe. The city had highly educated people on the whole, a robust workforce. There was like no downside to living in the center of Connecticut, Hartford. That changed, and it did coincide with, yes, Democrat administrations. It started in 1947 and went uninterrupted. 75 years with actually just 3 years of a single Republican mayor. Democrat-dominated councils and mayors let the city languish. Hartford had a little bit of financial revival in the 1980s, but culturally, it's declined all the way. It has gone up in crime. It has gone lower in education. It's one of the worst educated places in the state of Connecticut. And the industries that had dominated have largely left. Let's go to the south and west. Newark, a city that was very vibrant and has no excuse not to stay that way, given that its proximity, less than an hour from robust New York. New York City's been always robust. And everywhere except Newark that surrounds the New York City, it has prospered. Nassau County, Fairfield County, Westchester County, Morris County, Bergen County, and then you get Newark, which has not grown. Their population has gone down. Their city, again, run by Democrats for exclusively, okay, no interruption, for over 50 years. Newark has become a basket case, kind of a laughing stock, made worse just this year, where its city council decided to align with a new country. Okay, we've heard of town-to-town alliances. It's pretty much in name only, but some cultural sharing exists. Well, the country they chose is not even a country. It's a sham. It's a fake creation in the supposedly Indian Ocean. To be fooled like this, to have your eyes taken off the ball in the first place, describes a wayward set of counselors, no oversight, and a terribly wrong set of priorities. Okay, priorities in most cities should be protecting the safety of children. Well, that doesn't happen in Detroit anymore. Detroit, next city on the list. It was once the richest per capita city, richer than New York, richer than Philadelphia, into the early 1960s. That generally was fueled by the auto industry. Well, it wasn't the auto industry that tanked itself. Government policy tanked it. And thus, for the last 60 years, Detroit's been on a decline. Almost no new industries spring up there, a few based on auto subsidiaries. No one else has had their industry move into Detroit. Meanwhile, people have fled. Detroit, with nearly 2 million people back in the 1970s, has 1/3 of that now. Go a little west, mostly south, to Memphis. Memphis now has the highest crime rate in the United States among all cities. It too has been governed by Democrats for almost all of the last 40 years. Crime is not that important to them. Different projects might be. Community building and their own power building seem to displace the basics of keeping people safe. Finally, San Francisco. Everything's been displaced there. There is nothing normal left to what was once a gem of a city. A gem of a city in the 40s, 50s, and 60s has been reduced to a laughing stock. I mean, their Democrat-run administration, that's been true for 50 years now, has been prioritizing nothing except their own little goofy causes, their own little interest groups, and they neglect the education, the fundamental cleanliness of the city, the crime that has gone on in the city. San Francisco, it's amazing that some people still stay. It's got a very nice climate, and that's about it right now. Oh, expect a lot more people to leave very quickly thanks to the current council of San Francisco proposing a reparations. Okay, they're going to go where the federal government has yet to tread. They want to give every black person, qualified black person, they'll have to get paternity tests probably and under oath statements for who qualifies. Because if you get over that hurdle and you are black and resident of the city for, I believe, 3 years and have identified as black for that same time period, you will be, according to our Council of San Francisco, entitled to a reparation of $5 million. Oh, plus a housing allowance that allows you to have a home for $1, plus a guaranteed income of $97,000 a year. Where does this money come from? Shed the question of why, just because of your skin color and not your condition, are you entitled to this, but where would the money come from? Okay, there's only 400,000 households in San Francisco, with nearly 50,000 black individuals in the system. The cost of this proposal is nearly $500,000 per household. It is, where are you going to get that money? Oh, the council doesn't think about that part. Where are you going to get that money? Especially because you can't extract, even with the biggest force possible, from households that don't have 500,000. So for the poorer households, from whom maybe you can only extract $30,000, you're going to have to nearly double up and cost the richer households $1 million apiece. You think people are going to stay in that city? No wonder cities are declining under Democrat rule, because Democrats do not care about individuals. They care about their prospective groups. They care about their own personal powers. Look at how city after city has gone on the decline under their Democrat general councils and Democrat mayors. I'm Mark Stewart.